بسم الله الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه أما بعد. This is your guide for resource number 25, as found on page number 132 of your workbook, Al-Ajurrumiyyah, Fundamentals of Arabic Grammar. The expectation at this point for you, in order to benefit from this recording, is that you've studied lesson number 25. You've understood it, you've reviewed it, and then you've taken this quiz, Resource 25, on page 132, and you've checked your answers as well with the answer key. And now, let's go over the questions and the answers to make sure everything was understood and the greatest level of benefit has been achieved for this lesson, insha'Allah ta'ala. Resource 25. أسئلة مراجعة من الدرس الخامس والعشرين. Review questions for lesson number 25. السؤال الأول. The first question. قال الإمام ابن آجرروم رحمه الله. The Imam, the author of the text we're studying, Ibn Ajurrum, may Allah have mercy on him, said, فَأَمَّا السُّكُونُ فَيَكُونُ عَلَامَةً لِلْجَزْمِ فِي مَاذَا? When is the sukun a sign for jazm? A. موضعين, in two places. B. الفعل المضارع الصحيح الآخر, in the present tense verb that has a consonant, a sahih letter, as its final letter. C. الفعل المضارع المعتل الآخر, or the present tense verb which has a vowel like an alif, waw, or ya as its final letter. Or D. الأفعال الخمسة. So this is that first question, which is usually a direct quote from the text, which is the easiest type of question, not leaving much room for confusion. The actual text is في الفعل المضارع الصحيح الآخر. Answer choice B, the present tense verb that has a consonant, a sahih letter as its last letter, as studied in the lesson. Like يجلس, add lam in front of it and it becomes lam يجلس, with a sukun as its sign of being majzoom. السؤال الثاني, the second question. اختر ما ليس بفعل مضارع صحيح الآخر. Choose from the following words a word which is not a present tense verb with a consonant as its last letter, a sahih letter as its last letter. A. يكون. B. يضرب. C. يقضي. Or D. يمر. So answer choice A has a harf illa in the word, but not as its last letter. Its last letter is a noon, and a noon is a harf sahih. It is a consonant. يضرب, likewise, ends with a ba, and a ba is not a harf illa. It's not a waw, nor a ya, nor an alif. So therefore, it is a harfun sahih. And then C, يقضي. Here we have a word which ends with a ya, and that is a harf illa. So that means it's mu'tal al-akhir. It is not sahih al-akhir. And then we have D, yamurru, and yamurru ends with a ra, with a shadda on it, which is still a consonant, and it's not a harfun mu'tal. So therefore, the correct answer choice is C. Let's just explore now what it means to add a harf jazim in front of each of these answer choices. Let's put a lam in front of A. Lam yakun. The noon is still there, and the noon is sakina. Lam yadrib. The ba remains there, and it is sakina. C. لم يقضي. The ya is removed, and only a kasra on the ضاد remains. The sign of that word being majzoom is حذف حرف العلة. حذف الياء, the removal of the ya, which is a حرف علة. And then يمر becomes لم يمر. It still has a fetha, and that's a special case. And the reason why يمر has a fetha on it, even though it's صحيح الآخر and should have a sukun on it, is because of التقاء الساكنين. We have a doubled ra. The first one is sakina, so you can't have لم يمر where you just stop on a harf sakin, because that's actually two ra's. Each one is sakina, and if you recall, لا يجوز التقاء الساكنين. But that's more of an advanced issue. The most important thing is we can see clearly here the ya of yaqdi in answer choice C is removed when you add the word lam. السؤال الثالث, the third question. اختر ما ليس من حروف العلة. Choose from the following items that which is not a harf illa, not a vowel. And this question should have been fairly easy. Answer choice A, النون. Answer choice B, الواو. C, الياء. Or D, الألف. So, the حروف العلة are الواو, والياء, والألف. There are three. And those are answer choices B, C, and D. And that leaves النون to be the correct answer choice. النون is not a harf illa. While it is a sign of a word being majzoom, it is not a harfu illa. It is a harfun sahihun. السؤال الرابع, the fourth question. أعرب نشرح كما في قوله تعالى ألم نشرح لك صدرك. The opening verse of Surah Al-Inshirah. What is the i'rab of the word نشرح in the verse that you have heard? A. فعل مضارع مجزوم علامة جزمه السكون. B. اسم مخفوض علامة خفضه السكون. C. فعل مضارع منصوب علامة نصبه سكون الحاء. Or D. فعل مضارع مجزوم علامة جزمه الحاء. All right, so we've got to get answer choice B out of there, because that identifies the word nashrah as an ism, and it cannot be an ism coming after the word alam. So it certainly is a fi'lun mudari'un. So the remaining answer choices provide us with two options. It's either majzoom or mansub. And we know what comes after alam is majzoom. So now we only have answer choices A and D remaining, because each of those two answers begins with fi'lun mudari'un majzoom, and that's what it is. But the two answers differ in what the sign of the jazm is. Answer choice A says alamatu jazmihi as-sukun, and answer choice D says alamatu jazmihi al-ha. So now we know that jazm has two signs. It's either a sukun or a hadf. So al-ha is never a sign for any word being majzoom. So answer choice D is not correct, leaving answer choice A as the correct answer. Nashrah is fi'lun mudari'un majzumun alamatu jazmihi as-sukun. Nashrah, there is a sukun on the ha. السؤال الخامس والأخير, the fifth and final question is استخرج من الآية كلمة مجزومة علامة جزمها السكون. Extract from this one verse a word that is majzoom, And the sign of it being majzoom is as-sukun. وَمَنْ يَعْمَلْ مِثْقَالَ ذَرَّةٍ شَرًّا يَرَهُ. That's the 8th verse of Surah Al-Zalzalah. Your answer choices are A. Man, B. Yarahu, C. Sharran, or D. Ya'mal. So, looking at these words, Yarahu does not have a sukun. It is a fi'l mudari' and it is majzoom. However, it doesn't have a sukun. It was Yarahu with an alif. However, because of the jazm case, that alif was removed. So the sign of it being majzoom is not the sukun, it is the hadful alif, the removal of the alif. As for sharran, then that's a word with tanween on it, and you know that's a noun then. That's an ism, and that can't be majzoom because there are no asma, nouns, which are majzooma. That doesn't exist. So we're left with 2 possible answer choices. Each of them actually end with a sukun, man and ya'mal. And you should have been able to identify that ya'mal is a fi'lun mudari'un. And it's majzoom here. You may not know why it's majzoom. The man here is actually shartiyya. It's a conditional word which makes its 2 verbs both majzoom. That's why ya'mal is majzoom, and that's also why yarahu is majzoom in this verse. And that is a bit advanced for us right now, but the important thing is to be able to identify ya'mal as a fi'l mudari'. It would be ya'malu with a dhamma if it were marfu'. It would be ya'mala with a fatha if it were mansub. And since it's majzoom, it is ya'mal with a sukun. Ya'mal fi'lun mudari'un majzoomun alamatu jazmihi as-sukun. That means answer choice D is the correct answer. Barakallahu feekum. I hope you did really well, and may Allah Ta'ala bless your efforts and give you strength and patience, along with prosperity and success in your studies, in your religion, in your worldly affairs, and in your hereafter. وصلي اللهم وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين.